This is Matthew Cratter from Bitcoin University, and today I wanted to talk about Bitcoin Derangement Syndrome, how real it is, and people like Dave Ramsey. So when cryptographic truth collides with fiat lies, there's always a lot of cognitive dissonance. Our so-called elites believe that Bitcoin has zero value, and yet the global free markets just keep attributing value to this weird magic internet money, currently valued at about $36,000, $37,000 per coin, and that's pretty far from zero, and it has been pretty far from zero since 2010, and yet these fiat quote-unquote gurus never seem to be able to admit that they're wrong. We have Paul Krugman now going on 12 years being wrong about Bitcoin. We have Peter Schiff being wrong about Bitcoin. We have Charlie Munger of Berkshire Hathaway calling Bitcoin stupid and evil, calling Bitcoin disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization, while at the same time he tells us that we could all learn from communist China. We have his business partner, Warren Buffett, saying that Bitcoin is rat poison, and we can see clearly from this picture what sort of rat poison it is. It's poison for the banks. And then we have someone like SBF saying that Bitcoin has no future as a payments network, to which the Bitcoin network responded, SBF has no future as a CEO and a free man outside of jail. We also have Peter Zeihan at the very bottom tick of an 80% down bear market calling for Bitcoin to go negative. Complete arrogance like you've never seen, which I discuss in this video, which I'll link to in the description notes below. And then today I wanted to talk about Dave Ramsey, the financial advisor, and his comments on Bitcoin. I'll link to this video in the description notes below. In this video, he says that, quote, Bitcoin is a currency on the internet. It has no value except to the extent that someone will take it from you as value. Bitcoin is the Iraqi dinar of the internet. So let me help you out with that one, Dave. The Iraqi dinar is a form of fiat currency issued by the Central Bank of Iraq. And the Iraqi dinar is not a decentralized digital asset with a fixed supply and no committee of insiders who decide monetary policy. No one wants the Iraqi dinar. Every day people are trying to dump it for a slightly better shitcoin called the US dollar or the euro. By contrast, lots of people seem to want Bitcoin. In fact, thieves actually break into people's houses trying to get some Bitcoin. No one ever broke into a house looking for Iraqi dinar. In fact, Bitcoin has been valued by the free market, as we said, above zero since 2010. So when Dave Ramsey says, quote, it has no value except to the extent that someone will take it from you as value, what I would respond to Dave is by saying, yeah, Dave, that's kind of how markets work. And you would think that someone with a net worth of $250 million would understand that. Value is determined by the convergence of buyers and sellers who determine the free market value of any asset or currency. And if you're saying something is worth zero when it's actually trading and has been trading for a very long time in the 5 digits, at some point after a decade, maybe you should ask yourself whether you've got something wrong. It's not like your stocks or bonds or real estate have a hidden compartment with a special price tag that tells the world what their actual or intrinsic value is. These are valued by the markets as well. If you're enjoying this video so far, I just ask you to hit that subscribe button. That really helps out the channel's reach. Hit the like button, leave a comment, question, suggestion for a future topic, and please share this video with a friend. Dave Ramsey is the consummate example of fiat privilege. He was born at a very lucky point in history, and he attributes his luck to intelligence, which he clearly lacks. He grew his wealth over a 40-year period of falling interest rates. Dave Ramsey appears to understand nothing about financial history, and I think in any other period of history he would be considered a rude, arrogant buffoon and baboon, and that's not very fair to the baboons of the world, many of whom are very nice primates. Dave Ramsey's lack of intellectual curiosity is absolutely appalling. A guy with $250 million net worth doesn't have the time or resources to do even very basic research into how the Bitcoin network operates. And this is what he says about the Bitcoin network in that same clip. Because all of a sudden, one of these computer nerds just flips a switch and the whole freaking thing's gone. Actually, Dave, the Bitcoin network has nodes and miners in every country on Earth. There's no centralized switch to turn it off. It's a decentralized network. By contrast, there are centralized switches to turn off your bank account and your brokerage account. And I would also say to Dave that even if the electricity went out for 2 years globally, which would obviously be a complete disaster for humanity, when it came back on in your part of the world, your Bitcoin would still be there in the blockchain, ready for you to use. And there are many, many copies of it, thousands, tens of thousands of copies distributed all around the world. So you have to ask yourself, how long would it take to get your Bank of America checking account back up and working? It would take a lot longer than the Bitcoin network. And at that point, will a government in crisis let you keep all your money, or will they confiscate it in a bail-in, as happened to the depositors in Cypriot banks? These are the sort of things that Dave doesn't talk about because his show is so lowbrow, and he is such a lowbrow individual as well. In this clip, he also says, quote, "Bitcoin is not real money. It's not a stable currency that has any kind of system that backs it." Well, Dave, the U.S. left the gold standard in 1971, so there's nothing backing the dollar at all either, and there's nothing stable about it. In fact, this is the purchasing power of the dollar, which keeps going down and down. Dave concludes his clip by saying, "You're stupid. If you invest in Bitcoin, you're stupid. You're going to lose all your money and be pissed at me." I would just say to Dave, hey, Dave, it's been 15 years and you've been wrong the whole time. When apology? In 2014, you said it was a scam when Bitcoin was trading in March of 2014, when Bitcoin was trading at approximately $600 per coin. So really, why at this point, why should anyone trust Dave Ramsey? It's 2023. He can't offer his listeners even a basic factual overview of what Bitcoin is and how it works. And I think this is the common denominator for Bitcoin derangement syndrome and fiat privilege that we see from all these figures. It goes something like this. Quote, "No one in the world needs Bitcoin because I don't need Bitcoin, and I don't need Bitcoin because I'm already a multimillionaire, and I live in a country with a strong currency, strong rule of law, strong private property guarantees, and a fairly robust banking system." So I would say, thanks, cantillionaires, such moral courage. Meanwhile, it looks like Dave has actually been promoting a fraudulent timeshare company, allegedly, which he is getting sued for. And it looks like he was getting paid something like $450,000 per month to promote this fraudulent company. All this at the same time when he was bad-mouthing Bitcoin. I don't know if this is true. I just read it on the internet, but it looks like he's been suggesting and advertising some fairly bad investments for his viewers. In conclusion, like Krugman, Munger, Buffett, Schiff, Zeihan, history will not judge Dave Ramsey kindly. He represents the very worst of the quote-unquote what Charles de Gaulle in the late 60s called the America's exorbitant privilege, which America has enjoyed since World War II by having the global reserve currency. Dave Ramsey represents the worst of the arrogance, the ignorance, and the fiat privilege. And this is something that Bitcoin is fixing. Bitcoin derangement syndrome is ultimately nothing more than the dinosaur looking up into the sky, seeing the Bitcoin comet, and realizing that his time is almost up. And fortunately, for most of these people that we've covered in this video, it really looks like their time is drawing to a close, and they won't be able to lie about Bitcoin forever. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.